Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about some fresh new projects, all of which I've had the pleasure of speaking to the founders about so that I could get a deeper dive. But as always, any NFT project that I talk about in any video is simply to guide you towards projects that I think have potential. The rest is up to you doing your own research, the project fulfilling its promises on the roadmap, and of course looking at the market sentiment and market activity when the project actually mints. Before I dive into today's projects, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. Let's go ahead and hop right in. All right, so the first project that I want to talk about is called Antebellum Games. So as they say, Antebellum Games is going to be a crypto play-to-play game on the blockchain, and it is going to be an iOS and Android app. So I'm just going to go ahead and open their white paper so we can check out some of the information there. So as I said, I did speak to the founder of this project, Sharif. He is the CEO of Antebellum, and we spent an hour and a half on this Zoom meeting, basically going over the ins and outs of the project, them kind of letting me know where they are in development. And I was just basically asking the hard questions that no one wants to ask in this space, because I wanted to make sure that they could actually bring a feasible game to the market pre-mint. Like, do they have anything going? Are they actually working with game development? Because especially now, after seeing things like Pixelmon happen, I want to make sure that the projects I'm talking about and potentially am going to mint have something real and feasible on the table that they can actually deliver. So before I dive into the artwork and the roadmap on this project, I'm going to put in a brief few clips that were taken from this hour and a half interview of Sharif kind of explaining a little bit of the game, where they are, and what they're doing to make sure that this game actually comes to market and is feasible pre-mint. So basically, they're already working on this. It's already in development pre-mint. They've already put in some of their own money to hire a studio. So you guys can watch that and then I'll be back.
The most important piece that we did is when we wrote our white paper, we understood we were making certain promises are actually attainable. So our game developers, for example, have already achieved wallet integration on the mobile. Our game developers have also achieved rendering NFTs into mobile, and they've showed us proof of concept. So I had a meeting with them last week and they showed me, here's an NFT on OpenSea, here is us rendering into the game. So these are some of the steps we've actually already taken and completed with our game developers, and we meet every week. We did not say we're going to make a game. We said, is this possible? Can we make a game? Get in touch with game developers to ensure it. Speak with blockchain engineers to make sure that our in-game marketplace, which we can talk about later, is possible and viable. Once we knew, okay, the promises we're making within the timeline that we're making is all possible, let's begin development of the game. Our vision is actually not ending with this game. This game is something like we have it under control. Like, we have it under wraps. We have a strong team with Welsh Technologies working on our game. They have almost 30 employees.
Something like Clash Royale, Raid Shadow Legends, and Hearthstone. If you're trying to explain to the user, the gamer, what type of experience they can expect, what would be like the layout?
We're going to have, obviously, everything is going to be 3D modeled, and the actual lands, the NFTs, they're being rendered right now as we speak, actually, into 3D models.
Okay.
Our hope is actually, before the mint, we're going to put out a battle simulation, because we're already having the lands rendered. So we're going to turn the land into the battle arena.
So essentially there's going to be 10,000 Genesis lands. They are split between common, rare, epic, and legendary. Holding a Genesis land in the game is going to give its holders access to 100% of the in-game profits, which I will explain later. So depending on the rarity of your land, it's not going to affect how much in-game profit you receive. The only difference is that the rarer your land is, the more Valerians you will generate each week. Additionally, the only difference is that the lands are split up into 5 different categories. Those 5 categories are fire, grass, rock, electric, and water. And so if you hold a legendary land, legendary landowners are going to be the only ones who can produce a Valerian of any type. Every other land, so the 9,990 remaining, are going to produce Valerians based on their land. So for instance, if you get a fire land, you're going to produce a fire Valerian. If you get an electric land, you're going to produce an electric Valerian. So I don't want to take too much time diving into their white paper roadmap. You guys should definitely do that for yourself. But right now I want to go ahead and hop in their Discord and take a look at some of their artwork. All right, so we're in their Discord. They've got about 2.6K members in here. We can hop into sneak peeks and take a look at the land. So in my opinion, I really like this art style. I do think that these look really good. What Sharif actually told me is that all of the lands, so all of the sneak peeks they've dropped, have actually all been commons. They haven't yet dropped a single sneak peek on the rares, the epics, or the legendary lands yet. So considering how good these look, I'm really looking forward to seeing what those lands are going to be like. So now I just want to pop over to the website really quick, give it a quick look. And before I dive in, I just want to say this is going to be an iOS and Android game, but Sharif did tell me that their real long-term vision is to build this into an MMORPG on the desktop that can integrate with the iOS device, so that if you leave, you can still kind of play the game or use your characters and level up. Going into the roadmap, they are already on phase 3. Phase 4 is going to be where they launch staking. So they told me that they're going to launch staking about a month before the game drops. And the reason for that, because Valerians, which are the heroes you're going to use to be fighting, are going to be generated every week depending on your Genesis land. So they are going to postpone staking about a month before the mint. That way the common lands can generate enough Valerians that when the game does launch on the iOS and Android App Store, you're going to have enough Valerians to go ahead and start playing the game. So that is pretty much it for Antebellum. There's a ton more to learn and explore. I highly recommend and encourage you to go on their Twitter and click the link to read their white paper because they do have a lot of good stuff. So I'd recommend you follow them on Twitter, pop in their Discord. This is a super early project. There's only about 2.6K members in their Discord, and this is an open Discord right now. So that's it for Antebellum Games. I think they've got a lot of potential to build something great. All right, the next project that I want to talk about is called JustCubes NFT. So JustCubes NFT is all about reliving nostalgic games to win epic prizes. So essentially what they plan on doing is building all the best early nostalgic games such as Pong, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, turning them into browser-based blockchain games and allowing their members to play to win epic prizes. Now on top of that, you also see while enjoying access to a private node. Now that is a lot more technical. I spent over an hour talking to Adam, one of the founders of JustCubes, of him breaking down and explaining to me all the benefits of a private node. It was actually very insightful. I learned a lot from him. Now I will talk about that private node later because it is an essential component in the roadmap. But for now, I want to pop over to their website and show you guys a little bit more information on JustCubes. So as far as the artwork goes, it is just going to be 8,888 animated pixelated cubes. And I really like this concept and it fits with their roadmap because the roadmap is to build nostalgic blockchain based games like Pong or Space Invaders or Pac-Man, which are obviously very pixelated basic games. So we can scroll down to the roadmap, and something really cool is that their first phase of the roadmap is already been implemented. So for people who are in the server and are an OG or Cubeless, which is their version of Whitelist, they actually get access to Moby Alerts and Nansen Charge, which all cost money. Just Nansen alone is like $150 a month. Gives you access to these things that they've already fronted in terms of the cost. So they've actually put in some money, they've put in some skin in the game pre-mint to give their early supporters access to these awesome platforms and help them out. Part 2 is obviously they're going to mint their 8,888 JustCubes. Phase 3, they're going to purchase an NFT with a 5 ETH plus floor to use for their giveaway. And then 4, they're going to do the competitive gaming giveaways. So hopping into their Discord, we can find out a little bit more about the giveaways, how they're going to be structured, and the prizes that you can win competing in them. So after speaking to Adam, he said that they are planning on doing at least one game a month, but essentially you're going to be able to play their own blockchain games. It's not going to matter how many cubes you own. That's why they wanted it to structure it this way. It doesn't matter how large your pockets are. It's not going to give you any advantage. The only way to win these prizes is to complete in their blockchain based games, and then you're going to compete for these prizes. And what's really cool is, as they say, there isn't just one winner. There's going to be 30 winners from every single game in competition, which I think is awesome. Now, as far as their games go in terms of development, Adam told me that they have an in-house development team and their head of dev has over 10 years of experience developing games, AR and VR worlds, and a bunch more. So what's really cool is that they already have their first game launched where players in their private Discord can go. So I'm going to go ahead and click this and we can hop over. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I'm going to click play, and basically you're going to be able to play these. Okay, I lost. And basically you're going to be, oh my gosh. And basically you're going to be able to play, I'm not going to make it. You're going to be able to play these basic nostalgic blockchain games such as Pong, later on Pac-Man, Space Invaders, for those prizes, which are going to fetch a few ETH later on. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is their node, which I wanted to explain. So basically how Adam explained it to me is that having access to a private node is like having access to the fast track lane or the HOV lane. So essentially the private node would be here. And then this is the public node that everyone else uses on the Ethereum network or any other blockchain. Your transaction would be on the same network, so to speak, but instead of using the public node, you're going to be using the private node. You basically have a much higher probability, a better rate for your transaction to go through successfully because again, yours is just moving faster than everyone else's at the same way. So that's it for JustCubes. I think this is a really unique and fun project. I really like the team behind it, and it was a pleasure speaking to Adam. He's a super knowledgeable and experienced guy. They're already providing value pre-mint, and they're not promising something unfeasible that they're not going to be able to deliver on. All right, so the last project that I want to talk about is called BigBrainKids. So BigBrainKids is going to be a 7.7K collection. And even though they have 12,000 on Twitter right now, this project is really, really new. Their Discord only has like 4,000 or 5,000 members in there. And when I saw the artwork on this, I reached out to the team because I wanted to learn more. I think that the art looks really good, especially the ones that are animated. The art style on this project just really stood out to me. So we can pop over to their Discord, take a look at some of their sneak peeks. It does kind of remind me of Karfuru, and then we can take a look at their roadmap, and I can actually break this down a bit further because like I said, I was able to hop on a call with Don, one of the founding team members, and since they don't have too much information or a website out yet, they were able to give me a little bit more insight into what this roadmap actually means. So essentially the goal for this project is they plan on making this a play to earn / play to whitelist game. The way that they explained it to me is that they are going to be browser-based games where you're going to be able to play to earn and then compete in mini games and play to whitelist. So let me go ahead and start at the beginning to explain the breakdown. First, you're going to be able to stake your Big Brain Kid. From there, you're going to generate neuron tokens. You're then going to be able to use those neuron tokens to compete in mini games, like I was mentioning with their browser-based games. And then as well, you're going to be able to compete in games and burn your neuron tokens to compete for whitelist spots, which I think is really cool. I love that idea and concept. That's something that I actually want to do in AZEROTH, my alpha group. From time to time, I want to hold game nights, have some fun, and compete for whitelist spots rather than just doing every single whitelist on a giveaway bot. And then they have this really cool concept where they're going to bring NFT to reality. That's what they say on the roadmap. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to give all their holders access to get these physical items. And this right here is their artist. He goes by Ghost Boy. So this is actually one of his pieces of art that they made into a collectible. And what's really cool about this actually though is they're going to give their holders the decision or the chance to turn any NFT they want into a collectible. It doesn't have to be one of the pieces or tokens from the BigBrainKids collection. So basically if I was a holder and I was holding one of the BigBrainKids and I had enough neuron tokens, because I'm pretty sure these are going to be burned with neuron tokens, then I would be able to essentially make a collectible Azuki like one of these. It doesn't have to be a BigBrainKid. So I thought that that was really cool. And this is 100% absolute real. This is not a rendering. And what they told me is that they are actually going to be raffling off a bunch of these collectibles pre-mint to people in their server. Some of the early supporters are actually going to be able to win some of these, have them in their hands pre-mint, and get a feel for what they're going to be able to buy and access in the future. So another thing that they shared with me, which I'm not allowed to disclose information about it, but I can definitely tease it, is right after you mint your BigBrainKids, you're going to have access to a secret utility they call Evolution. Now, like I said, I can't say what that is, but there is another secret utility right after the mint that they told me about that is not in the roadmap yet. On top of that, they also told me that this is going to be a whitelist mint only, which I think is awesome because typically that means a much lower price point. I'm not sure if they want me to disclose the exact mint price, but I can tell you that it is definitely going to be under 0.099 Ethereum. So that's pretty much it for BigBrainKids. I really like the art behind this project. I think the utility is quite unique with their play to whitelist and the fact that being a holder is going to give you access to make any NFT you own into a physical item, kind of like Antebellum, or at least how they're marketing it. So that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you found some insightful stuff. I'm really making it my mission right now to try and get the team members of projects I'm talking about on a quick call so I can get a bit more information to make sure I'm bringing you guys reliable information that I can vet directly from the teams who are producing these NFT projects. That's it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at BlockchainGavin. Like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.